Israeli strikes in southern Lebanon have killed at least 9 people as cross-border. Hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah continued, despite a recently announced partial ceasefire. Lebanon's health ministry said those killed included 2 paramedics whose ambulance was hit in the Chehor area of southern Lebanon. The ministry also reported that 4 Syrians and 2 Palestinians were killed in a separate strike in the Al-Haush area near the coastal city of Tyre. Lebanese media reported Israeli air strikes across southern Lebanon throughout Wednesday. A separate strike targeted a vehicle in the Kaldeh area south of Beirut, marking the closest reported strike to the Lebanese capital since the partial ceasefire was announced earlier this week. Security sources told Reuters that 2 people were injured. The Lebanese army said 1 soldier was killed in an Israeli airstrike near Nabateh, while 2 other soldiers were wounded in a separate attack on a military vehicle. The army condemned what it described as repeated strikes targeting Lebanese military personnel and positions. The Israeli military did not immediately comment on the reported casualties. In the past, Israel has accused armed groups of using ambulances for military purposes, an allegation it says justifies some operations. Meanwhile, the Israeli military said it intercepted a drone and 2 projectiles that crossed from Lebanon into northern Israel. Hezbollah later claimed responsibility for rocket attacks targeting Israeli troop positions, saying the action was a response to what it called Israeli violations of the ceasefire. The exchanges have placed renewed pressure on a partial ceasefire announced on Monday. According to the Lebanese government, the arrangement calls for Israel to refrain from launching major strikes on Beirut, while Hezbollah avoids attacks on Israel. Diplomatic efforts continued in Washington, where Israeli and Lebanese officials held a second day of talks aimed at reinforcing the agreement. Secretary of State Marco Rubio said he hoped the discussions would lead to an action plan focused on security in Lebanon. Independent of Hezbollah, the conflict expanded on March 2nd when Hezbollah launched rockets into Israel following an Israeli strike that killed Iran's supreme leader. Israel responded with a large-scale air campaign and ground operations in southern Lebanon. A previous U.S.-brokered ceasefire reached in April failed to halt the fighting. Last week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordered intensified military operations against Hezbollah following continued rocket and drone attacks on northern Israeli communities. According to Lebanon's health ministry, more than 3,500 people have been killed in Lebanon since the war began. The United Nations says over 1 million people have registered as displaced, while Israeli authorities report that 26 soldiers and 4 civilians have been killed during the conflict. The United States continues diplomatic efforts to prevent further escalation, while Israel, Lebanon, Hezbollah, and regional actors remain engaged in a conflict that shows few signs of a lasting resolution.